What's up everyone, Cargo's here from Esports here, and today I'm coming to you with an introduction and guide to this beautiful lady, Sylvanas Windrunner. Sylvanas is the newest hero to join the ranks in Heroes of the Storm, and as many of you may know, she hails from the Warcraft franchise. She works as a well-rounded range specialist with a low cooldown escape and chase mechanic. She puts out excellent damage in teamfights, pushes out lanes very efficiently with her W, and with this build can even solo siege camps without taking any damage. Without further ado, I'm going to get right into her kit. Withering Fire is her Q. You can see the radius here. And it shoots the closest enemy for 115 damage, preferring heroes. Stores 5 charges. Gain 1 charge on nearby enemy minion or mercenary deaths, and 3 charges on nearby enemy hero deaths. Shadow Dagger is her W. It deals 115 damage and an additional 460 damage over 2 seconds to target unit. The effect spreads to nearby targets. And I actually want to show you this in action here because this is Sylvanas' bread and butter, and it's important to see how it spreads. So I'm going to click this minion here, and you can see it spread this black gook or whatever, or kind of dark magic is kind of spreading around. So that's how it works. Her E is Haunting Wave, and this is her chase and escape mechanic. And it sends forth a wave of banshees dealing 360 damage to all targets. If you reactivate it while it's traveling along its path, you can teleport to the banshee's location. So just to show you how it works, it has quite a large range here. So I'm going to click over here and watch as the banshees fly out, and then I'm going to activate it again. And as you can see, I'm much closer to Arthas' grill here. Now, this spell is also very versatile because you can use it to hit heroes that are trying to juke you, as you're going through all the foliage and trying to juke each other back and forth and blinking around. You can shoot it through just about anything and it'll hit them. So moving on to her hero ability, 99% of the time, 99.999% of the time, you're going to be choosing Wailing Arrow. Wailing Arrow is a fantastic ability, and it's much better than her Mind Control 90% of the time. So what it does is it shoots an arrow that explodes for massive damage and silences enemies for 2.5 seconds. You can click it again as it's traveling along its path and reactivate it to detonate the arrow early. So I'll show you how long the range is. I'll go ahead and shoot Arthas here with it, and I'll activate it early, and you can see it explode there and do damage. So he was silenced. He couldn't heal himself with Death Coil. He couldn't get his E up and going for a little bit, and that's how it works. And generally speaking, you don't want to snipe people with this. It's got a very long cooldown. You want it to have more impact, but do as you wish. So lastly, her trait is called Black Arrows, and what it does is it makes her basic attacks and abilities stun minions, mercenaries, and towers for 1 second. You might be thinking, bleh, it's a little underwhelming, whatever, it can stun stuff. She's great at PvE content, that's fantastic, but just hold your horses. I'm going to show you this build, and you'll realize that her trait is a very essential part of the way you play her. So moving on to the build. Tier 1, I choose Lost Soul. This reduces the Shadow Dagger cooldown. Tier 2, I choose Paralysis, which increases the Black Arrow duration. If you remember, Black Arrow is your trait. So as far as you guys know, I'm just setting myself up to be a PvE legend. But hang in there. So Tier 3, I choose Life Drain, and this is Sylvanas' Sustain. So this makes your Shadow Dagger, which is your W here, heal you for each enemy hit. So for each time it spreads to a new enemy, rather. So as you can see, I'm going to use it on this creep here, and as it spreads, you're going to be healing yourself up, and it's a lot of healing. It's really good. So choose Life Drain. As far as Tier 4, again, choose Wailing Arrow. This is her other ability possession. You basically mind control a minion to fight for you. It gains attack damage and health. Cooldown increased to 20 seconds when used on catapults. So you can have fun with that if you'd like. Overwhelming Affliction is the Tier 5 talent, and this talent is amazing. It makes your Black arrows also apply to heroes now, slowing their movement speed by 5% for the duration, stacking up to 5 times. So you're kind of like Tychus, except you don't have to be up in their face, and you can slow them up to 25% for the duration, keep them perma-slowed. And it takes your trait from being somewhat underwhelming to being extremely strong. So choose Overwhelming Affliction. As far as the Tier 6 talent, choose Cold Embrace. This is probably the most impactful talent, I'd say, overall. And what it does is it reduces the range of your Shadow Dagger, but it also it makes enemies hit by it vulnerable, so they take 25% more damage. And as you can see, it spreads to a whole bunch of as many enemies as possible. So this can have insane impact if you use it properly. I'm going to use it on this pack here. As you can see, they're all vulnerable. They're all taking 25% more damage, hate, and life right now. Just really getting wrecked. So Cold Embrace is what you're going to want to choose there. And then finally, you have a little preference with your final choice here. You're either going to want to pick Bolt of the Storm or Deafening Blast. I'll run you through what Deafening Blast is. Enemies at the center of Wailing Arrow's explosion take 50% more damage and are silenced for twice as long. So this gives you more damage and it silences people for longer, so this can potentially be really good depending on what heroes they're running if you really need that extra silencer damage to get that extra reach. But normally I go with Bolt of the Storm because positioning tends to be more impactful overall, and having better positioning is going to result in more damage and more uptime, and it tends to be more flexible and good in my mind. So Bolt of the Storm, of course, if you don't know, it's a blink ability. So blink over there, shooting the black arrows out, ease. You can do kinds of tricky stuff with Sylvanas, but he's a very versatile, fun hero to play. Really encourage you guys to play her. And I tried to summarize what your role is in a team fight here, and I'm just gonna tell you right now. So during a team fight, your job is to land your Shadow Dagger, your W, and have it spread on as many objects as you can. The more heroes it lands on, the better when you have Overwhelming Affliction and Cold Embrace especially. Use your Withering Fire, which is your Q here, on whoever is in range, even if it's the enemy's tank. It's better to sort of use it from safety than to be too far overextended and end up dying. So use your E, Haunting Wave, to chase and escape. You don't necessarily just want to use it on cooldown as a nuke, even though it does decent damage, but you generally want to save it for an escape or chase mechanic here. So be safe, because you are pretty squishy. As you can see, I'm chasing this guy, and that's really it. As you're rolling a team fight, you want to obviously keep your black arrows up on as many people as you can, and that's really it. So this is a really down and dirty guide to Sylvanas. Hope you guys learned something. She's super fun. So thanks so much for watching. This is Argos from Esports Hero signing out. Have a good one.